Good afternoon, all the students. Again, we are here at 89 Hector Year Road Coaching Institute, and today we are here with the response, with the answer keys or the solutions of CBSE Class 12. Okay, so let's start. We have the question paper. First, we are particularly, I have set 3 here. So let's start with the MCQ section, section A. The first question is, which of the following is not correct for SN1 reaction? As we can see from the different answers, what I think is it will be the result in inversion of configuration. That is not correct because all other 3 options are correct. So 1 should be D. Question number 1 should be D. Next is question number 2, section A, question number 2. That is dehydration of tertiary alcohols with copper at 573 Kelvin gives, if we see the options, ketone, alkenes, aldehydes and carboxylic acids, because we know tertiary alcohols, when we heat tertiary alcohols with copper at 300 degrees Celsius, it forms alkenes, right? If we remember 2-methyl propene from NCERT. So 2 will be D. Next is 3. Question number 3. The coordination number of cobalt, the central metal ion, in COEN, that means ethane 1,2 diamine whole twice Cl2 whole plus, right? So what is the coordination number? Coordination number means basically it is the number of donor sites. It is the number of donor sites. Ethane 1,2 diamine gives 2, so 2 2s are 4, and chlorine is basically 2 chlorines are there, so it's 6. So 3C, 6. Next, we will be going to question number 4 of set 3, section A, MCQ type question. Which of the following d orbitals experience more repulsion in crystal field theory in CFT splitting of octahedral complex? Yes, we know that Eg levels are higher on the higher side and T2G levels are on the lower side. So the higher side is basically because of the repulsion coming out of the electrons of the different ligands which are approaching basically. So Eg set of orbitals will be experiencing more repulsion. Hence the option is where we will find Eg. Eg means basically we have dx square, y square and dz square. So option is B. 4 is B. Which of the following transition metals show +1 and +2 oxidation state? If we see the options, we'll have copper. So copper is having Cu plus Cu2 plus also. So question number 5, it is basically question number 5, option B, copper. Next is 6. What is question number 6? The boiling point of 1 molar NaCl solution, assuming NaCl to be completely dissociation. So that means I equals to 2. For strong electrolyte, for 100% dissociation, I becomes 2, right? Like for NaCl. So Kb is also given here. So the boiling point will be elevated. At first it is basically 100 degrees Celsius, but when there is NaCl dissolved in water, there will be elevation in boiling point, and delta Tb equals to I into Kb into m. So if you follow that, so definitely that Kb will be multiplied by 2. So 0.52 multiplied by 2, right? That is the value 1.04, and 100 already the boiling point plus 1.04. So option is B, 101.04 degree Celsius, right? So 6 also B. 6 also B. Achha. Now let's come to 7. The order of decreasing order of pKb. Now we know pKb is inversely proportional to the basicity, and here as we can see the compounds they are giving, that is aniline, N-methyl aniline and ethyl aniline. Now we know aliphatic amines are more basic than aromatic amines, right? So pKb will be least for ethylamine, and hence the order will be, so which one will be having highest pKb value? Aniline. So aniline greater than N-methylaniline greater than ethylamine. So it will be 7 will be A. Now we will go to question number 8. Now in question number 8, it's a Nast equation based problem, that magnesium 2 plus and copper 2 plus copper they are giving. Now how we can increase the EMF of the cell using the same substances. So here what we can do, basically we know that E equals to E0 cell minus 0.059 by 1, and here in this case it is basically 2, N is 2, and log of it is basically Mg2 plus divided by Cu2 plus, right? So if we somehow decrease the magnesium 2 plus concentration, this fraction will be decreased, right? And we have a minus sign here, so the opposing effect will be there, and it will overall increase the E cell value, cell EMF. So the option here, it is basically by decreasing only the Mg2 plus concentration to 0.1 molar. So 8 is A. Now let's come to question number 9. MCQ question 9. When a liquid and its vapor are at equilibrium and the pressure is suddenly decreased, what is happening? If we can see all the options, we have one option where it is saying that cooling occurs. Yes, cooling definitely occurs, because at this time the evaporation will start, and the extra heat for the evaporation will be basically taken from that system. So we will have cooling. Achha. So 9C. Now 10. Each polypeptide in a protein has amino acids linked with each other in a specific sequence, and it is this sequence of amino acid that is said to be primary structure. The primary structure, that is a specific sequence it is having, right, which is retained by that polypeptide. So 10 is A, right? Now let's move on to 11. 11 is basically, there is a first order reactions rate is given, initial concentration is given, they are asking for rate constant K. So definitely the rate divided by 0.2, that is the concentration we will have it. So the option will be here basically 2.8 10 to the power minus 3. So 11 will be D. Next is question number 12. Benzene diazonium chloride on reaction with phenol in weakly basic medium gives benzene diazonium chloride, which is, we know that benzene N2 plus Cl minus, it reacts with phenol in weakly basic medium. So in weakly basic medium, the product will be para-hydroxyazobenzene, that is the orange colored dye. There will be coupling reaction and we will have orange colored dye, right? So it is 12C. Next, if we go to the assertion reason part, question number 13, assertion reason, section A, that ether CH3 COCH3 gives CH3 Ci and CH3OH. This question exactly line by line copied from NCERT, and we know that there will be a breaking because of the tertiary carbocation, and yes, iodine will be attached to the tertiary carbocation, so the assertion is true. The reaction occurs by SN1 mechanism, that is also true, and it is the correct explanation. So 13A. Next is 14. 14, diazonium salts of aromatic amines are less stable than those of aliphatic amines. No, it's not correct, because diazonium salts are stabilized by resonance. In the reason, they are giving that diazonium salts of aromatic amines undergo resonance. So assertion is not true, but reason is true. So the option is going to be 14D. Now it's come to 15. For complex reactions, order of the reaction is given by the slowest step, that is the assertion they are giving to us, and reason is order of the reaction is not applicable for the complex reactions. Assertion is true here, reason is false here, because order of the reaction is still applicable for complex reactions, definitely. So 15 is going to be C. And if we go to 16, that is Mn2 plus Mn value is highly negative. Yes, that is true. And because Mn2 plus is highly stable due to half-filled 3d5 configuration, that is perfectly aligned, assertion and the reason. So that is also true. So 16 is going to be A. Students, let's start with section B, set 3, as we are discussing previously. Question number 17, they are asking for IUPAC names of the following compounds, and they are giving the example that, so the answer is basically first for 17A, it's diamine silver 1, dicyanide argentate 1, right? And the second one, here En is given, so En is basically ethane 1 to diamine. So it is coming thrice. So tris ethane 1 to diamine, cobalt is in 3 oxidation state, and although we have sulfate, 3 molecules of sulfate, but we will write only the sulfate and along with a space between the coordination sphere name and the thing that is outside the coordination sphere. The next is question number 18. What is the effect of denaturation on the structure of proteins? Right? It's a question from biomolecule. Helix get uncoiled, structure, the secondary and tertiary structure of protein destroys, right? What are the common types of secondary structures of proteins? We have alpha helix and beta pleated sheets, right? Again refer to the NCERT biomolecules chapter. Next is, what is the effect of denaturation of next is question number 19A. Reaction of which order will show the rate to be independent of the concentration of the reactant? So that is definitely zero order, because for a zero order reaction, the reaction is not having any dependency, right? Achha. Give one example of this order. The example will be decomposition of HI on gold surface. We have, right? Question number 19B. Question number 19B. State the condition under which a bimolecular reaction may be kinetically a first order reaction. So what will be the answer? If one of the reactant is in large excess, it becomes a pseudo unimolecular reaction. Pseudo unimolecular reaction, right? And the example is basically inversion of cane sugar. Fine. Achha. Next, explain the two phenomena with Henry's law, bends and anoxia. We all know that. Refer to the NCERT book. Next is, how does sprinkling of salt help in cleaning snow-covered roads? Again, the depression in freezing point, right? The phenomenon that is involved in this statement. And salt, basically, when salts are basically salt and ice are mixed, basically, what happens? The freezing point of the mixture drops, so we get help if we spray salts. Again, question number 21. If we see the reaction is a tertiary butyl bromide, upon reaction with alcoholic KOH, it gives 2-methyl. It gives basically it gives basically propene, right? It will be the double bond, right? So it is basically 2-methyl propene, we say. Achha. Next is, when Br2 heat is given, it is on the benzylic position, because it's a free radical reaction. So bromine will be connected with this carbon, the benzylic carbon. Thank you. Start. Now let's come to section C quickly. Question number 22. There are basically, it's a conversion type of question basically. So we are starting with paramethyl nitrobenzene. FeHCl, the purpose is to reduce NO2 to NH2 group. Then diazotization condition, it will be converted to diazonium chloride. On if we add water to benzene diazonium chloride, basically we get phenol, right? We get phenol. Next is diazonium salt, CuCN, that is sand-wear step. Cyanobenzene is forming after partial hydrolysis in alkali medium. We get benzamide. Then the Hoffman-bromide reagent NaOBr, that is often represented as Br2NaOH. The C double bond O group will be eliminated and we will get aniline. Okay. Next is 23A, question number 23. This is the isomer, that is C4H9Br, which is most reactive towards SN1 because the substrate is a 3-degree alkyl halide. Next is 1-bromo-1-methyl cyclohexane, right? On dehydrohalogenation reaction, this will be basically the major product, and this is stabilized by hyperconjugation. This is stabilized by hyperconjugation. The number of alpha hydrogens. And C, chlorine is having minus I effect, but it is in electrophilic substitution, it is ortho-para-directing because the resonance is showing us that the negative charge is on the ortho and para positions only. That is why. Let's come to the section C. Section C, 24. Now question number 24, part A. Write the rate law expression. The rate law expression, as we can see, it will be K multiplied by concentration of H2O into concentration of I minus. And with respect to H2O and I minus, if we can see from the equation, that is for both of the reactants, the order is 1 each, so the overall reaction is 2. And the molecularity of the step 2 is definitely 2 because two molecules are involved. And let's come to question number 25. In the question number 25, let's say 1 is the solvent, 2 stands for solute, then W2 is 61 gram, N2 we can get 0.5, W1 also N1 we can get 6.4, right? Now the thing is, this benzoic acid forms a dimer in benzene, so Van 't Hoff factor will be less than 1, that is half. For dimer, Van 't Hoff factor is less than 1, that is half. Now, effective number of solute, here it will not be the number of moles of effective number of moles of solute will not be 0.5 then, because I we have to consider, so 0.5 into 0.5 is 0.25, then total is N1 plus N2, that is 6.65. Now if you see that the mole fraction of the solute, right? Mole fraction of the solvent. The mole fraction of the solvent is number of moles of solvent by N total. Here we can see that is 6.4 divided by 6.65 because the total is now 6.65, that is 0.962. Now the last thing, they want the vapor pressure of the solution, that is from Raoult's law. P1 not into X1, that is coming as 63.5 torr. Let's go for section C, question number 26, that is the question of coordination compounds, related to coordination compound. This complex, the cobalt ammonia, this salt basically reacting with excess silver nitrate and produces 3 moles of AgCl PPT. So definitely 3 chlorines are outside coordination sphere. So the compound is basically CuNH3O6 Cl3. So the IUPAC name is hexaamine cobalt 3 chloride. Ammonia is a strong field ligand, so it is an inner orbital type complex, D2sp3 hybridization, octahedral geometry, and it is diamagnetic because it will have no unpaired electron because cobalt 3 plus is in D6 configuration. Next is question number 27. Question number 27. Why is DC current not used to measure the resistance of an ionic solution? Because DC current triggers electrolysis, so the chemical composition might change. We might get inaccurate results, right? Next is, what are the product of electrolysis? Why the products of electrolysis are different for AgNO3 solution with silver electrodes and platinum electrodes. With silver electrodes, because silver Ag plus is going to be that reduced at cathode, and same silver is oxidized to Ag plus at the anode. So that is the phenomenon with silver electrode when the electrode is active, and when the electrode is inert in case of platinum electrode, the thing happens is at cathode silver gets deposited and at anode oxygen is formed, right? Why are magnesium blocks fixed to the iron pipelines carrying water? Because to prevent corrosion, right? Cathodic protection to prevent corrosion. So next question number 28. Propane nitrile is treated with phenyl magnesium bromide followed by hydrolysis, right? In NCERT, if you can remember, this was the preparation for ketone, right? Preparation for ketone, aldehyde ketone chapter, the same thing. So here we will get this compound, right? Here we will get this compound because it's a propane nitrile, so it's an electrophilic carbon there, so we get a that this intermediate, when this is hydrolyzed, we will get ketone. We will get ketone, right? And this one, para-fluorotoluene, under the conditions of CrO3 acetic anhydride, it will produce the complex, and when it is hydrolyzed, it will be CH2, para-fluorobenzylamide. And the last, when phthalic acid is heated with ammonia, it will form phthalimide. Let's come to section D of set 3, 29A part, that is, how do you explain the following? Presence of a carbonyl group in glucose. We have so many evidences. We can use Torrance test or Felling's test. We can use cyanohydrin, HCN addition, right? Next is to prove that glucose has 5 OH group in it. So if we react glucose with acetic anhydride, we will get pentacetate form of glucose. So that supports that glucose is having 5 OH groups. What type of carbohydrates are called reducing sugars? Those carbohydrates which can reduce Felling's and Torrance. Felling's reagent and Torrance reagent, basically Felling's solution. C part, in D plus glucose, what do letter D and plus sign stands for? D basically stands for the configuration of the carbon, and plus stands for the optical rotation, that is dextrorotation, right? And in question number 30, when we are coming to question number 30, write the mechanism of acid catalyzed dehydration of ethanol to yield ethene. Refer to NCERT. Common questions, right? Because we have a few mechanisms in our syllabus we had, so this is one of that question. Why are tertiary alcohols resistant to oxidation? Because it lacks alpha hydrogen. If the alcohol lacks alpha hydrogen, it's very difficult to oxidize it. And the last question of 30, question number 30. Write the structure of the major product expected from the dinitration of 3-methylphenol. Dinitration of 3-methylphenol, nitration, right? Concentrated sulfuric acid, concentrated nitric acid. The two products will be like this. One where nitro group is at para position to the ortho, and another where nitro group is at ortho position to the phenol, OH group, right? Orthonitrophenol more acidic than orthomethoxyphenol because methoxy is a group having pulsar effect. It releases electron via resonance, and NO2 group, basically electron withdrawing group, it decreases the electron density and it withdraws the electron density via minus R effect, resonance, negative resonance. So definitely minus R effect promotes the acidity because OH bond becomes electronless and it is more prone to break. Let's come to section E, question number 31A, part 1. That is, there is a conversion, bromobenzene to 1-phenylethanol. First, bromobenzene to be converted to phenyl magnesium bromide, then followed by the reaction with ethanol, we will get 1-phenylethanol. Next is benzene to meta-nitroacetophenone. First, the nitration should be performed, otherwise the COCH3 group at meta position, it will be difficult. So first introduce nitro group by nitration, then the Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction, and you will get the product. Third is that analytical question. An organic compound with molecular formula C8H8O forms 2,4-DNP derivative. That particular question says that it reduces Tollens region and undergoes Cannizzaro reaction. So definitely it's an aromatic compound, right? And this compound lacks alpha hydrogen, so Cannizzaro is possible, right? And carbonyl compound is also there, 2,4-DNP test, it will give positive, right? And this compound gives on oxidation 1 to benzene dicarboxylic acid. So definitely we know that after KMnO4 oxidation, this will be converted to COH, then that will be converted to COH, the CH3 group. So this one, that is 2-methyl-benzaldehyde. It is also having the formula C8H8O. Next is the acidity order. Trifluoroacetic acid being the strongest acid because 3 fluorines are there. Next is nitro, then it is formic acid, then due to the electron withdrawing nature of the phenyl group, it will be less acidic. And let's come to the OR part, the OR thing, that is write the products when benzaldehyde reacts with the following reagents. First is that 2,4-DNP test, orange red precipitate. It is basically referred to the NCERT, it is basically the reaction of ammonia derivatives with carbonyl group, right? Next is acetophenone in presence of dilute NaOH. Acetophenone is having that alpha hydrogen, but benzaldehyde lacks alpha hydrogen, so a cross-aldol reaction will happen between benzaldehyde and acetophenone in presence of dilute NaOH, right? Then give reasons. Benzoic acid doesn't undergo Friedel-Crafts because it forms a salt, right? That deactivates the ring further. Carboxylic acids have higher boiling points because of the hydrogen bonding, right? Because of the hydrogen bonding. Write simple chemical test to distinguish between propanal and propanone. Iodoform test. Propanone gives a yellow precipitate of CHI3 when it is treated with I2NaOH. The same reaction, propanal, do not respond, or if we perform Tollens or Fellings with propanal, we will get, in case of Tollens, silver red precipitate, in case of Fellings we will get red precipitate of Cu2O, but that same reaction, Fellings Tollens test, will not respond, propanol will not respond. Let's start the 32A question. Calculate E0 cell. As you can see, E0 cell, there is a relation between log Kc and E0 cell, 0.059 by 2 log Kc, because here n equals to 2. So from this relation you can get E0 cell value as 0.444 volt. Next is write cathode, anode and overall reaction of lead storage battery when it is in use, refer to NCERT. The latter part of the electrochemistry chapter, the last part, battery, right? How much electricity is required in coulombs for the oxidation of 1 mole of FeO to Fe2O3? FeO, iron is in +2 oxidation state, Fe2O3, iron is in +3 oxidation state, right? So number of electron exchange is 1. Here they are also talking about 1 mole, so it will be basically 1 Faraday it is, right? Next is the OR part, the conductivity problem. They are asking for alpha is 0.0768. How to get molar conductivity we can get first, and then the degree of dissociation formula, molar conductivity at any concentration divided by molar conductivity at infinite dilution, that is provided. So alpha we are getting this value. And the second part, that is silver plus 1 electron having is converted to silver solid, that question again Nast equation related question, E equals to E naught cell minus 0.059, here it is 1 log of 1 by 0.01, so E you are getting 0.6816 volt. And the last part, dry cell and for fuel cell, what are the name of electrolytes? Please refer to the NCERT book. Let's come to question number 33. Account for the following. MnO is basic while Mn2O7 is acidic. MnO, the manganese oxidation state is +2, Mn2O7, the manganese oxidation state is +7. As the manganese is in +2 oxidation state, so it is behaving like a basic oxide because the oxidation state is low, so it can donate the 2 electrons. But in this case, because of the higher oxidation state, it is acidic because it is acting as an electron deficient compound, right? Achha. Next is iron has higher enthalpy of atomization than that of copper, and that is related to the number of unpaired electrons in iron. Iron is basically 3d6 4s2, copper is basically 3d10 4s1, right? So the number of unpaired electrons in iron is more than copper. Mn3 plus is stronger oxidizing agent than Cr3 plus because oxidizing agents after reduction, right? So Mn is getting reduced basically. So Mn3 plus after reduction goes to Mn plus 2. So that is the stable 3d5 configuration manganese is getting. So that is the reason. How do you prepare potassium dichromate from sodium chromate? Sodium chromate on acidification it gives sodium dichromate, and there is an exchange reaction with KCl to form potassium dichromate, a bright orange colored solid. Thank you students. If any questions are missed, I will attach that in the description box, the answers, the probable answers. And thank you all. Subscribe to our channel and like and share the videos if you feel it that it is very good for your preparation for that CBSE and JEE also. So write in the comment sections how much you are expecting.